Harry? Harry, are you hearing me, sir? Are you hearing me, Harry? I'm not so sure what is happening on YouTube, but I'm seeing Harry.
I'm hearing you, sir. I'm hearing you loud and clear, and I'm on YouTube.
You live on YouTube. Harry's beside you there. I'm not so sure why I'm not hearing Harry. How are you, Joshua?
I'm as good as the Lord permits, sir.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. Had a great day.
As good as it could be.
Harry, are you hearing me now? Hello? Are you hearing me, Harry? Okay. I'm not so sure that Harry is hearing you. But listeners, fascinating stuff happening across Jamaica, you know.
Neighbor, just before you go, could you just ask Joshua to ask Harry to just exit and rejoin, please?
Yes.
All right. I will do my best. Harry, if you're hearing me, could you just exit and rejoin? For some reason we're not hearing you at all.
Right. Okay. So the whole
matter, the conduct of Angela Brownberg.
The whole matter of the removing of the mace in Parliament is getting a lot of coverage. I want to talk to Harry on some of the things he spoke about. But the Jamaica Labour Party's Apka Fitzhenley, they are out with this statement today. Here is Mr. Fitzhenley.
Interfering with the mace was most disappointing, unfortunate, and disgraceful. And
what did he say? Let's go again.
Was most disappointing,
disappointing,
unfortunate, and disgraceful.
Unfortunate and disgraceful. Miss Angela Brownberg is disgraceful. I see Miss Brownberg gave an interview to the Gleaner and suggesting that she's admitting that she was wrong. But the party is giving us mixed signal, you know, because I see Miss Burchell, Nikisha Burchell, Member of Parliament for Southern St. James. What is wrong with Miss Burchell? You know, I don't know why the PNP keeps putting Miss Burchell out there, you
know. Neighbor?
Yes.
It's not just Miss Burchell, and I listened to an interview this evening with Dion Jackson Miller.
Did you see Miss Burchell? Did you see Miss Burchell, sir?
No, sir. But I don't expect anything much from her. She has proven herself to be not fit for the position that she's in.
Yes.
You know. But I also listened to an interview with Dion Jackson Miller, interviewing Alfred Dawes. And Alfred Dawes said that he believes in civil disobedience, and even if it means taking it to Parliament, he will. And he said he did it already and he'll do it again. Right, so you are correct when you said the party is sending mixed signal, because it seems more of them are for it than against it, and again, it's a failure of leadership on their part, because what it says is that the leader has not taught them well, and he's not in control of the party, but rather it seems like the party is in control of him, because as a leader, you set the tone for those who follow you.
Yes.
But at this juncture, though, Joshua, wouldn't that be the party seeming like a beast with many heads? And I'm not calling them a beast, but for reference, wouldn't that mean they're spreading themselves thin and going in several directions, which is chaotic?
And so the tail is wagging the dog, and I'm not calling a dog. Whoa! It seems as if I'm doing the same thing you are doing. You know.
Yes.
Oh, but in essence, we're saying the same thing, Harry. That everyone seems to be singing their own tune. You know, one hymnal, but many different songs at the same time.
Yeah, let's listen to Mr. Apka Fitzhenley from the Jamaica Labour Party responding.
Interfering with the mace was most disappointing, unfortunate, and disgraceful. And what makes matters worse is that Brownberg attempted to disrupt the sitting of the Parliament, which was meeting to consider the very important matter of a piece of draft legislation which is intended to assist Jamaicans to recover stronger and build back communities in the aftermath of the devastating impact of Hurricane Melissa. What was particularly disturbing as well was the behavior of Brownberg's colleagues who appear to support her impudent and unacceptable conduct. But Jamaicans who have been observing how the PNP has practiced its politics under the leadership of Mark Golding should not be surprised. Clearly, they are tolerant of disorder and indiscipline and are prepared to resort to underhanded tactics in order to fetter policies and draft legislation which are in the best interest of Jamaica. The conduct of Angela Brownberg in interfering with the mace was most disappointing, unfortunate, and disgraceful. And what makes matters worse.
Okay, so that's the communications task force chairman, Mr. Apka Fitz Henry. Now, there is a spin that has been put on this, it has been spun like a gig because I think Jamaicans are rightly, finding this behavior distasteful. As a matter of fact, my understanding is that there is a divide in the People's National Party. There's a divide in the party, and the divide is even among the parliamentarians, that the party came out of parliament on Tuesday looking bad. Looking bad. There are supporters of the People's National Party who tonight are upset that the party is seemingly against reconstruction within the party. Right? My understanding is that the caucus of the party agreed that they would vote no, but that people felt that they should be allowed to vote their conscience. That is my understanding. That not all members of the party are fully agreed with the leadership of the party that there should be a unanimous no vote on reconstruction. But of course, under our system, you carry the party line. But the supporters on the ground, I understand, are even more disappointed that the party, after Tuesday, seemed destined to remain in opposition for a fourth consecutive term. And comrades are rightly concerned, And I would be concerned too if I was a supporter of the People's National Party. I would be very concerned that after 6 months into the term of the government, there is no answer. It's like when Brian Lara scored 500 runs against the Englishmen. No, 400. 400 runs. The bowlers had no answer. He was putting them all over the boundary. This is the same People's National Party that is out in the field. To be in the field for 3 consecutive days, gathering the ball from the boundary, not easy, in the sun. And that's the position of my understanding is that the supporters of the party are very, very disappointed. They're almost hopeless. They don't know how to approach this. And they may begin in September with changing the leader, but what is that going to fix? Changing
I think for the greater good of Jamaica, it is important that they strongly consider changing the leader for more reasons than one. And I want to revisit what you mean when you said that there's a divide afterwards. But for more reasons than one, Mark Golding has not demonstrated in his 4+ years of being the party leader that he's really interested in the greater good of Jamaica. Mark Golding has demonstrated that his only interest is to become prime minister of the country. we have seen a number of instances that I can cite now. The constituency that he leads, there's a road that needed to be fixed. And it's after the election that the Prime Minister actually went down there and got it fixed. Karen Cross carried that. A staircase was torn down on a building. Mark Golding says that the increase in his salary, 80% of it would be dedicated to benevolent um, reasons, right? And it would have cost him, sorry, less than $150,000 to rebuild that staircase, right? And he didn't do it. Persons have suffered through Melissa, and almost daily, Mark Golding is speaking of housing needs in
Ask
Jamaica,
everyone to repost the live, please.
right? Almost daily, Mark Golding is speaking of housing needs in Jamaica. But while he speaks of housing needs, he has done nothing but in Bahamas, a foreign country that he has no holdings in as far as we know, right? Or at least he doesn't reside there and he doesn't intend to be prime minister there. He has invested in 200 low-income housing when people in Jamaica need low-income housing, right? And we have seen him sabotaging all of our national events. The way he dresses to go to some of them is, it's at the very least disgraceful, right? So Mark Golding has not demonstrated that he's interested in anything that is going to advance Jamaica. NaRRA, in and of itself, when we compare what happened in the 60s coming out of colonialism and the massive thrust to move Jamaica forward, not only did it provide economic growth, but also um, the projects that it brought on stream were now benefiting from a lot of these infrastructure and stuff like that.
Yeah,
NaRRA is not only going to do that, but do much better, right?
Control.
And
yeah. Go ahead, Joshua. Go ahead.
right, not NaRRA is not only going to do that, but do much better, right? It is going to be planning for the future, as as similarly to what happened in the 60s. But not
Okay.
only planning for the future, but the building of smart city that will equip us to withstand better some of the natural disasters that should come our way. And also look at usages in terms of electricity, water, and all of these things, traffic, road usage, and those things. And something as simple as this, now that we've gotten loans, right, and stuff like that, one would have thought that for the greater good, for once, politics would have been put aside. The quest for leadership would have of the country would have been put aside for the greater good of the nation. But Mark Golding has advised the entire PNP team, right, to vote against it. And whilst Mama D stated that not everyone over there was in agreement with it, she stated it in Parliament, and they themselves say they agree with it. But as Harry stated since night, that they, on the one hand, they claim that they agreed with it, but their votes said something else.
Okay.
So
Let's
they're
listen to Mr. Robert Marlon Morgan of the Jamaica Labour Party. He was on CVM doing an interview.
Direction to the authority, and the authority shall comply. The opposition spokesman on agriculture called it executive control dressed as independent oversight. Is that a fair characterization of what the opposition argued during the debate, that the bill as drafted allows the minister, a titled minister, sometimes referred to as a prime minister, we've heard civil society say is an incongruence in that bill, give direction to the authority, and the authority shall comply. The opposition spokesman on agriculture called it executive control dressed as independent oversight. Is that a fair characterization of what the legislation actually says from the opposition's perspective?
So I have no issue with none of the groups, whether the 28 civil society bodies.
Okay, that's the wrong tape we have here. Sorry about that. Let's hear from Harry. Harry, you spoke extensively earlier, Harry, on this whole matter of NaRRA. Do you want to give us a little synopsis of what you spoke about in that what I'm hearing, a viral monologue?
Viral neighbor? Well, I don't know too much about viral monologue, you know.
Yeah.
Especially when you set the tone. But the thing about it, neighbor, from the piece that was put forward, it is giving the people of Jamaica in less than an hour what they've gone through, the lives and experiences, you know, throughout it, how us as a people and the state has adapted, how we would have changed over time, and whether these changes are sustainable, whether they actually do what they were set out to do. You know, you'd have heard me speak of when it comes on to the framework,
Yes.
right? Restorative state model. Are
Yes.
we building back what was there after experiencing tragedy, after experiencing disaster that is worse than before? And if we do that, building back and finding that normalcy again, if that normalcy couldn't withstand before, why would we think doing the same thing, restoration, meaning put it back to its purest form, why would restorative actions be able to drive you forward? It simply means you would be reacting every single time naturally, but you're not moving forward at all. Because as things get stronger and you stay the same, you get left behind. And that is what has caught Jamaica for quite a while. The rise in preparedness and an institutional learning neighbor, that would have been an improvement from Gilbert coming to Ivan, right? And it shows that, you know, we developed odd payment and we were doing in terms of coordination and planning. But move on to Melissa. We're no longer just dealing with coordination and planning. We have to look at an entire philosophical change. It moves from just infrastructure. Far too long we've been focusing on just that and not the bigger picture. And I think what NaRRA, being birthed out of Melissa, again, the worst natural disaster in 174 years in the Atlantic, it is challenging the very people, and like the state as well, to move from responders to designers of proactiveness, to be prepared before it happens, to be able to bridge the gap between recovery and resilience. Because far too long we're seeing we're building back. The opposition said they're building back. We can't build back if we're going to keep focusing and facing a lot more disasters. It simply means we have to be ahead of the game. And we, between Gilbert and Ivan, we didn't really experience that to the level that we had to. The cultural mindset of the people didn't really change.
Yes.
And when the cultural mindset of the people is changing in silos and increments, what you're being faced with is coming at an expansive rate, and it is being done exponentially. So it is increment versus exponential disaster. Increment.
Let me ask you, Harry, as you press forward, is it that the bill, and I ask, is it that the bill did not satisfy the measurement of accountability? You are a professional, or is this really politics taking over the reconstruction? Are there real concerns as expressed by the opposition?
Not to the extent that they are speaking of labor, and here's why. And I can get why they will challenge it, because like I said, this is a philosophical change by both state and people. It's a necessity.
No, do you think that the people, do you think that the people you speak of the philosophical change. Do you think that the people are aligned with this type of philosophical change, or do you think that the state leading the process understands it? But do you think the people do?
Yes, they do.
They do.
So they do. The difference, and the question is, to what magnitude? And we can always speak about that. But you can tell me, neighbor, you've watched a lot more legislation, in Parliament and so on, or bills to be passed and discussed. When was the last time you've seen that group of people, a nation, staying up for 12 hours to see what happens to this bill? Those who want to know about it, those who are probably hearing about it the first time, those who are probably
Are you sure it doesn't have anything to do with the politics of it, though? The partisan politics of it, where the battle lines, the political battle lines are drawn, and everyone is just coming out to support their own sides. Because if you watch the comments as the process unfolded in the Parliament, you'll notice that the political lines are drawn. In other words, the divide is not only the call for the vote in the Parliament, but the divide is also among the people. Why are the people divided on their own reconstruction?
So here's the thing about it, neighbor. Every bill that is really passed has a political line that is drawn, right? It has always been the case, and I suspect it will always be going forward. But what we're seeing now is a lot of persons who want to understand this bill more.
Yes.
So they have questions. And a lot of these questions are being asked, but people are politicizing them in these comment sections. These are a lot, when you look at it, these people don't necessarily have a direct political affiliation, or rather, let me say, an alignment. They may be affiliated in policies and so on. But the narrative around it is to shape that anybody who questions the bill or have concerns about it means they're against it.
Yes.
That is not the reality. That is not the truth. It is a narrative being, a web being moving around it to let it seem that way. Because if we're to look at just numbers, the opposition brags about 401,193 people. The administration have just over that, based on the last election. But the questions being asked are more of those who want to know about it so they can better understand and make the right decision, to prepare themselves to having these discussions, to be able to know what is in it for them. Because we have $6.7 billion in our neighbor that NaRRA is going to spearhead. A lot of people have concerns. Yes, it breeds from political stance to say the opposition challenges accountability and transparency. So let me go and take a look, because I want to know if this is true. But because these conversations aren't discussed publicly, you may have somebody who gets information and in their bedroom they discuss it with their partners, families, and so on. But it shows that people are more, for one reason or another, more inclined to want to know about this specific movement. Not just politically, because we know, as we said before, the opposition will play politics, and we saw the politics from them. And we saw from the administration who is trying to put people first through the birth of this bill, through the conceptualizing of moving away from being reactive, from just building back what was there, from just going back to normal. Because our normal does not bring us into the future. And where Jamaica is, Melissa has tested all frameworks from both state to individual. And every single framework has been battered and bruised, tested in its truest form. And it shows us that in order to learn from it, you first have to be informed. And the narrative around NaRRA and what is being driven, it has brought up this public discussion now where you need to know so you can know how to position yourself. I think a lot of people now are buying into the idea of not being tied to any member of parliament or to any individual, but to understand what the state is putting in place that they can take advantage of, that they can prepare themselves to take those opportunities as well. And that is a shift, why I say it's a philosophical shift that's coming. Because every single time we've seen legislations of this nature or policies coming along, it never ever caused that cultural shift. It never challenges the mindset of the people. It never let them say, let us stop being so responsive. Let us find ways to not just be proactive, but to have resilience, to have continuity, to ensure that whatever we build now, it's not just there for the now, but can withstand what we may not even see. Because now the standard is category 5. That's the highest it has ever been. We may have to revisit the scale in the near future. And it's a wake-up call to the people of Jamaica that the state has put in their space. This bill that the state has put forward is now forcing people to think differently. And in order to think differently, you have to have the information. And that is why we see so much persons are gravitating to this bill. We need to know who said what, why what was said, why is this amendment being done? And then overall, what value does this $6.7 billion US puts into my life? Where does it lead Jamaica? How does it change Jamaica when we compare to the acts of Gilbert, Ivan? Because we didn't really see a lot of movements for those. And one of the major things is the weak financial backing. And for the first time in our history, we're getting that. And we know why. It's been fiscally proven. It's been fiscally responsible. It's been changing the minds of the people to make sacrifices over the last decade. And with those sacrifices, they've been rewarded. Right? And as such, people are buying more into this because this is the biggest transformative bill in my lifetime. And as such, people will want to know, where do we go from here? Because it's not like back then where we're asking to build back a house to give a little road. NaRRA is now saying, how can the framework, something you can't see,
Yeah,
the intangible,
yeah,
how can we strengthen that and everything else after?
yeah. Well, that's fantastic. Great. Connecting Jamaica, connecting the dots. You've been waiting for a while, so we apologize for that. We understand that the line gets a little long sometimes, and you may be running out of patience. But good night to you, sir. How are you?
Blessed, highly favored, and giving God thanks. How about you?
Well, I wish I could say all of that, but poco going through tonight. How are you doing? What's on your mind?
Neighbor, this whole NaRRA disaster, and disasters can be measured not only by way of hurricane, but even international economic recessions affect our own economy here and set us back. Wars in an ongoing war in Ukraine and Russia is not helpful to our situation, and then this one now between the Americans and Iran and Israel.
Yes.
What is happening to the oil? So these are the things that we should be bearing in mind. Plus our own we are in an era, a disaster zone.
Yes.
So there are no two ways about that we will get disasters. The last time we had a big earthquake was way back in 1907. We have not had a massive earthquake since then. It was a 6.5.
Yes.
Before that, it was a Port Royal 7.5. That's most of Port Royal. So the last time we had that one was 100 years. But we are in an era where we are going to have disasters. We are going to have hurricanes. We are going to have some earthquake. As to the magnitude, that we pray that it is not as bad as Melissa. And that is now what makes NaRRA a game changer. But in thinking about this whole thing, I kept wondering why the PNP was going up so hard. Is going up so hard against the bill. But it jumped in my spirit just not too long ago.
Jump in your what?
Jump in my spirit.
In your spirit?
Yes.
You're having an inspiration there, man?
Right away, yes.
Wow. From the Lord?
So, NaRRA is about order
Uh-huh.
and structure.
Yes?
It is not about running it. No.
That's what the Spirit tell you.
That is what the Holy Spirit does do a while ago.
What are you saying to me? Hold on there, hold on there, sir. Now. So you hold on. The Holy Spirit just tell you that, sir?
Yes.
Well, we should pause it. We should pause to thank him.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir.
So now, that kind of a control and order and structure that NaRRA offers, it goes against the grain of how the PNP has conducted their affairs. Why, especially in government. You understand?
Yeah.
They are, and it is not helpful to them. NaRRA is not helpful to them, but they are handling again in the parliament when the bill was being discussed. It has really left eggs in their faces.
Yes.
It has left eggs in their faces. And I tell you something, it has not done any good to Mr. Golden's ability to continue as leader. That is already under threat.
Yes.
And it has not done him any good outside. But something came out in that debate there.
I agree with that, sir. I agree with that.
It has not done him any good.
No, I agree with that.
It has not done his leadership position any good.
Not agree with that too.
No, because when I look at him, when I look at his presence in the parliament, it occurred to me that Mr. Golden may have been elevated above the level of his competence. He's a very good legislator, but not opposition leader.
You think he has been elevated above his competence?
I think so. I honestly think so.
You are crediting him as a good legislator. No one can take that from him. He knows the legal craft.
Remember, he was Minister of Justice.
Oh yes, and what him did him give man more ganja in Jamaica.
Apart from that,
yes. Yeah. Oh yes. Yes.
Yes, give him what is due. He passed a number of legislation.
Yes.
That were good.
But you think the PNP? But the choice they had was between himself and Lisa Hanna. I see she's now putting on bikinis and lying down on the beach.
Yes, relaxing.
I
see that myself.
Why is she doing that?
But she maybe she's rekindling the mission fire.
You like beautiful girls, sir?
Oh, absolutely. They were given to us by God.
Oh, wow.
Starting with Eve.
Hold on there. No. I asked if you like beautiful girls. It's plural,
This one.
Careful, sir.
But among them, I'll pick just one.
One at a time.
One at a time.
That's right. You can manage more. And at your age, you don't have a choice.
Well, I'm not saying that, but that's how God ordained it. He created one Eve.
Yes. Yeah. Get back to serious business, though connecting. It is with some sense of disappointment, though, that we have to be discussing this in this context, because I think that it would have been a good show of support, not only to Jamaicans but to the international community, if we came out of Parliament a united, with some amendments. Because trust me, I don't think the opposition to just sit down and take everything that the government say and does. That would not be effective.
I agree with you.
Yes, and as you said earlier, a man like Mark Golden, who knows the art of law and is able to look in the bill and say, change that. Let's work on this. Let's work on that. I think it would benefit the opposition more.
Absolutely.
They may at least be able to hold on to 25 seats in the next election. But at this rate, they probably will lose a bit more.
Well, maybe they might move from 28 to 8.
You don't agree with me that if the opposition took a a different approach, that the electorate may have looked at them differently? You don't agree with me?
I agree with your neighbor.
Yes.
And like I said to you before, this has dealt a severe blow to Mark Golden's leadership.
Yes, I think so. I think so. I think they should have pressed for the amendments, but say we are supporting Jamaica's reconstruction. And the other thing that the opposition should have done, if I may offer them a bit of advice, is come with their own bill.
Yes,
come with your
neighbor.
I
watched him, I have no doubt in my mind that he really delved into the bill, he read it and he understood what he was reading.
Oh, Mark Golden is not, of course.
Yes,
of course.
And he came with a lot of suggestions. So you can see that he went through and made notes. And that's why I say he's a good legislator, but he can't be prime minister.
Let me tell you something, sir. An effective opposition. This also tells you the opposition is not on top of their game. An effective opposition calls a press conference and outlines to Jamaica the changes they want to recommend, the changes they want to see, and present their own plan. And say to Jamaica, we stand with you. We will not vote against reconstruction. That's not our point. What we are asking for are for these things to be included, for these things to be changed. But under no circumstances are we going to vote against you. Because by voting against NaRRA, they are voting against the people of Jamaica.
Of Jamaica. You remember I said, neighbor, that this bill was for the people of Jamaica. I said that about twice on another program, your program.
Yeah.
But just in closing now.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The opposition did not vote against the bill.
No, they didn't.
No, sir.
What they voted?
15 versus vote that was against the bill. We have 38 opposition members.
Well, they weren't even there.
No, they weren't even there. They didn't turn up. And just to say a little bit about the conduct of the member who disturbed the maze.
Really?
I think that she should publicly apologize in the parliament to the parliament and to the people of Jamaica.
Yes, the Jamaica Labour Party put out a statement this afternoon, asking for that. But sir, respectfully, if a student in a classroom in Jamaica goes up to the teacher's board and take up her marker, do you think the teacher should have that child only apologize?
Well, no, absolutely not. No. I'm not saying that whatever other punishment there that the parliament, the speaker is empowered to me to. But in addition to that,
what is an apology? What is an apology, sir? If you juke me in my eye, and I am eyeless, and you tell me you're sorry.
You're still eyeless.
I'm still listen to me, sir. A blot has been left on Jamaica's democracy. A mark. It is yes, sir, and it can't be erased.
No,
when 30 years after today, when people are reading about NaRRA, they are going to see that.
And the video is there. The video recording is there.
By the way, condolences to the family of Daniel Thompson. DT. I used to listen to DT on JBC. Was a smooth broadcaster, and DT died. DT died earlier today. Want to say condolences to the family at RJR and DT. Walk good, my brother. Rest in peace. You know who also passed on is Phil Simmons. Former West Indies cricket opening batsman and coach. Phil Simmons. What I tell you, he died earlier this morning also. So condolences.
I didn't hear of that one.
Yes, sir. And there are gonna be some other deaths, sir. You say you are a prophet?
No, absolutely no, I'm not.
Yeah, but you said the spirit just spoke to you.
the spirit of the living God will speak to you once you're in a
Yes, I believe the Spirit of the Lord is speaking to me that there are going to be some other high profile deaths. No, let me not joke about that. It's going to happen. Anyway, we all have to pass that one time or the other, no?
Apparently, the man
wants to die. Yes, sir. But I was saying to you before I have to go to protecting that history will record this moment, and our children, sir, will read that this bridge that they are driving over, to get it built, here is what the country had to go through in Parliament. And every time it's up on the screen now in YouTube, technical director, if you could move that on, because I don't like to look at it. Every time I look at it, sir, I think about a pre-primary student, misbehaving in class. Because this can't be a woman with a PhD. Opposition spokesman on foreign affairs, sir. Foreign affairs. Now, foreign affairs is serious business, No. Can you imagine Angela Brownberg representing Jamaica? Jamaica's foreign interests, sir? Behaving like that in Parliament?
Neighbor, you remember Professor Emeritus Reconstruction?
Yes.
He our blessed memory. He made a quotation some years ago, some decades ago, He was referencing something, I don't remember what what he said is that the truth is there are too many Butus driving Benz.
Butu in a Benz.
Butu in a Benz is a Butu anyway. I remember that expression.
Oh yes.
Butu in a Benz is a Butu anyway.
Yeah.
And I land right here.
Well, I think you are correct, sir. But the thing is, we have had some really, good ministers of foreign, including KD Knight. He was foreign affairs. AJ Nicholson.
Kenny. Kamina's father was he one? Kamina's father?
No, he Johnson. No, Tony Johnson.
No, Anthony Johnson.
Yes. No. Kenny Ball. Dr. Ball. Yes, we have had some fine foreign affairs.
Fine. Yes, you're perfect.
And Kamina, yes, you realize that she almost became what they call it, the Secretary General of CARICOM.
Yes.
She ran for that position. And here
campaign again, sir.
They did. Yes, they did. And here we have the prospective Minister of Foreign Affairs jumping up in Parliament, behaving like a little child. So, every time I watch that scene in Parliament, I think it reflects the society, and I wish if we as a people, we on this program could have some in-depth discussions when it comes on to the social construct of a society, because sir, if a policeman in trying to enforce the law in any taxi stands across Jamaica ever try to enforce the law, you see how people behave, sir?
Yes.
Go and tell those people in Spanish Town that are selling and blocking up the road that them can't park them car there. See what happens at Spanish Town tomorrow.
In the same way as the PNP members surrounded Brownberg last.
You see what I'm saying to you, sir?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying to you? Now, yes, and there are some brilliant people in Jamaica. They have been splicing Brownberg's behavior with what took place in the British Parliament.
Yes.
To show the difference.
Yes.
Now I agree that that society is ahead of us, but I think
and they're English, so they speak proper English and so on.
Well, it's not even the speaking of the English, so it's the conduct. Yeah, and the speaker there was no less forceful than Mrs. Holness. But that is a different discussion, sir, because
Indeed.
I think it is clear for all to see that Mrs. Holness is part of the PNP's problem. But connected, she is one of the best speakers we have had in a very long time.
Very, very long time. You're perfectly right.
You see what I'm saying to you? On both sides of the house.
Both sides.
Yes? She's
Yes.
one of the best speakers we have had.
You can see that she has done her homework. She understands the rules. She knows what she's about.
Yeah.
And she's going by the books.
Yes, she's better than Pernell Charles. She's better than Lloyd B. Smith.
Yes.
Yes, but Miss Dalrymple Philibert wasn't bad. Huh?
Who is it?
Miss Dalrymple Philibert wasn't bad.
No. But she's certainly better than
Michael Peer.
Michael Peer.
Yeah, Michael Peer. Oh my God. Oh,
Who is Michael or Dean?
Michael. Dean was at local government.
Yes. And at Ministry of Finance at that time, as junior minister.
Yeah. Anyway, nice to hear you, sir.
My respect to you and everybody else.
Great. 23 minutes to 10 o'clock. Protecting Jamaica, you've been waiting. I'm sure you have a lot on your mind. What's happening?
Good evening, neighbor.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. Listeners, Caroline, Harry, YouTube, TikTok, good evening.
Yes.
We have a problem in Jamaica, the neighbor.
Yes.
And the behavior of the PNP is showing us that it's a problem that is being fixed.
That it is being fixed.
Yes.
Aha. Well, define the problem for me and show me the path of repair.
There's a certain kind of people in Jamaica, I refer to them as the HNBs.
The HNBs.
They support the People's National
Now,
Party.
what does that acronym mean?
Have no brain.
Or, you know, somebody get into trouble if you talk about chichi na people brain.
Yes, but it's not my quotation. It is that PNP lady from Eastern Westmoreland
Uh-huh.
that from her own mouth highlighted the fact that PNP not no brain, so she vote for PNP even though she not get nothing and she not no water. So I'm just quoting her now. These people are spread throughout the society, but are concentrated in a jungle, Pienland, Westmoreland, some parts of Portmore, Hanover, and all those places. Now, what is happening is that the politics is maturing in Jamaica. And the more the politics matures, is the clearer it becomes.
Yes.
In identifying the HNBs. Now, the People's National Party don't care about Jamaica, you know, and I will not stop saying that until people begin to understand. They are just appealing to the HNBs. And that's the reason why behaviors like the one that was exhibited yesterday has a place.
The legislation actually said the opposition argued during the debate that the bill as...
I'm sorry about that, sir. Go right ahead.
So what we have is a kind of situation where they realize that the support among these people are the only support they have. They are not appealing to the sensible middle, and they definitely cannot appeal to JLP supporters. Now, the PNP have no interest in development in Jamaica and neighbor, because in order to maintain the HNBs, them have to Lego the society. It has to be chaotic and lawless. And because of that, they really have no interest in the development of Jamaica. Now, let me go back a little bit. 1980, before the election, there was Hurricane Allen. A lot of people just hear about Hurricane Allen now that may I mention it. There are a lot of people who they have heard about Hurricane Allen, but they don't know what to make of it. Hurricane Allen was the most powerful Atlantic hurricane by wind speed on record.
Yes.
Tied with Hurricane Melissa in 2025. You hear? And people really don't understand that we have been down this road before. But guess what? Before Michael Manley demitted office, there was nothing he could do. Because Michael Manley spent the time right up to 1979, 1980, the early parts, draining the little resources that we had put on. There was no preparation. People died. People were displaced. And the nonsense continued because those who were displaced, them just go find one other piece of capture land and jam up. And Michael Manley agreed that them should just go find a piece of land. No. Once Edward Seaga took over in 1980 after the election, he went straight to Washington. He consulted with the multilaterals because there was no money in Jamaica to fix back one road, to put on one roof. So Edward Seaga and the JLP was left with a situation that was worsened by the lack of preparation by the PNP. Now just imagine coming into office, you have to recover from a master hurricane. And then by 1988, there was Hurricane Gilbert. Seaga never have a chance, really. But because of the HNBs that support the People's National Party, you really would have to dig deep to appeal to those people to help them to understand the magnitude of the situation in that time. But even so, Seaga bounced back Jamaica within 6 months, 1988. There were other works continuing, but by and large, there was preparation. Why? Because it is in the 1980s that Seaga established the Hurricane Center. What name? I mentioned it earlier. The ADPEM, because no preparation was made by the PMP, a Seaga Institute ADPEM, another groundbreaking institution in Jamaica's forwardness. No. The People's National Party are going to have major problems as they move forward.
They are going to have major problems.
Major problems. Because there is no way them can kind any message. Missy Burchell have one mace in one video this morning attack. Like
What you think about that video?
Cartoon businessman. She's still a child.
Cartoon.
Cartoon business them the band. And I do not think because of the man in charge of the party, they have really settled down to realize that the Jamaican political landscape has changed. I don't think them realize, say, there can be 10 more elections and them can continue to even hold on in 28 seats but can't form government. They're not realizing what is happening. It is a ground-breaking shift that is happening in Jamaica politically. Even though I'm still disappointed that those who call themselves the sense in the middle are the ones that fall in the middle, the conscious middle, they're still not participating. Now, let us talk about 2004, 2005, Hurricane Ivan.
I'm not so sure. I hear from you, though, the problems you say they are going to be having going forward.
Politically, it is going to be challenging because they continue to appeal to the HNBs, and the HNBs are not the majority.
Yeah, but you know, protecting. Many people would argue, that argument could have been said leading up to the 2025 generals, and the PNP came out stronger than many people.
Neighbor.
Including yourself.
Neighbor. The almost 20 billion that was spent, they did the best they could do.
20 what, sir?
Almost 20 billion. They did the best they could do. Okay, that's why them so bitter. They spent a lot of money. They did the best they could have done. Them can't do no better than that. And them know it. And that's why they're bitter and miserable. And that's why they decide that they are going to just openly play obstructionists. Because, let me tell you something, neighbor. When the next election comes, 2030, Right now, there's no guarantee that them can hold on for the 28th what they have. It no matter who are the leader. Because by 2030, Jamaica will be advanced so far, so much further, that the HNBs will be less and less. Not even next year in the local government election that we expected. The PMP can appeal to anybody with sense. They can't. And even when they nationalized the last local government election, they still lost. They ran the last local government election as a national election. And right now, they are in the worst position ever, even though them have more seats.
Yeah. You know, Chuck
not going to work in their favor.
Yeah. Chuck Finley told me something a couple of weeks ago that up to 2020, Jamaica was beginning to come together. And since the election of Golding, the country is drifting back into a partisan divide. Do you agree with him?
Of course, neighbor, they deliberately. This is my talker, my spy within the PMP.
Oh, you got a spy there?
Yes, man. Everybody have one spy in the PMP. I know everybody in the PMP agree with Marky G.
Uh-huh.
But we have a lot of internal enemies. Now, they have meetings discussing this very process.
Within the party?
Yes. Their effort is to cause chaos. As long as they can get a certain cross-section of Jamaica to hate the Prime Minister, to distrust the Prime Minister and the JLP, then they can maintain their support. It is an openly orchestrated strategy. The thing is, I think they are realizing that it's really not working, but I don't think that they are analyzing it in a sensible way. Because by now they should have pulled back, re-strategize, re-enter the fray, and try a different approach.
I understand they have a protest plan tomorrow. You hear about it?
Well, somebody mentioned something to me, but
who is planning the protest?
PMP groups.
Oh, groups. Okay, not the party.
And the party is going to be integral in it. Members of the party are going to join. But a PMP groups are going to be. No.
What are you saying to me?
That not going nowhere. It's not going nowhere near, because guess what? Once the buildings start, once the people start to get back the roof, once the people start to resettle in better housing conditions than they had before, nobody not going to pay them the mind. The PMP really not a sense, you know. Them should have save up this kind of nonsense. Them not even wait. So Andrew Wallace shines in instances like these. Before them wait until if
there will be no protest tomorrow. Stop till. Oh, they say there will be no prosperity. Okay. Stop till like on my part. Oh, is your party? Dre Brian.
Neighbor. I never know you're a fisherman. You really stop to respond to that.
No. What did you say?
I didn't know you're a fisherman.
Fisherman?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I'm a fisherman look for fish name. Let me move on. No.
Oh, God.
We have to understand that they will not succeed. Them can't succeed. Them buck. Okay? The PMP buck. Them can't go no further. This is the best they can do. And then no matter who they want promise a seat in the Senate, if you go swim around, no matter who they want promise national honors, if you go swim around, it don't matter. Them buck. And remember me telling you, they are not going to be able to come up on that amount of money that they did last time in the election in 2030. Because nobody now look on them. They're a waste of time. And even if Margoli run against Damian Crawford, and Damian Crawford wins the leadership of the party, it will be the same nonsense. It will be the same foolishness. Because nobody trusts Damian Crawford. In flighty, just like Miss Bertrand. A cartoon business them the ban. The people of Jamaica gone far past Tom and Jerry days a long time. The people of Jamaica need results. Their argument really cannot take root. Because you cannot say that the 10 years that this government has instituted infrastructure project after project after project, countless projects, there's not one report of cost overrun, money missing or anything. But all of a sudden now, an independent body with eminently qualified people are going to see to the administration of whatever will be spent. And all of a sudden the PMP knows best. Angela Brownberg can't even change her rotten teeth them. So how she know best for national development? Mark Golden can't keep his hand out and pants on him out corner. So where he know? All of a sudden he know best. Damian Crawford couldn't even save two of the goat when Melissa blow. All of a sudden they know best. Alfred Dawes couldn't even stop himself from being poisoned. All of a sudden he know best. All of a sudden he know best. Huh? Philip Palwell is a nobody in the party now. All of a sudden he know best. Really? The people of Jamaica should not trust this bunch of people. I know they're not going to trust them, but there's still a considerable amount of HNDs in our country, and we need to press on in trying to convince them to consider their own development and progress in another way, and it cannot be with the PMP. I'll land here for now.
Thank you so much. Let's go up to Joshua. Joshua?
Greetings again, sir.
12 minutes to 10 o'clock, Joshua. You agree that the PNP's posture in Parliament on Tuesday will set them back?
I will take it further, sir. It has done tremendous injury, great injury to the PNP and by extension the leader. Right?
Yes.
In more ways than one. I heard you mention something about the PNP could have pressed for changes. They did press for change, right? And they got the changes that they needed. I believe if they had stopped there and still voted for the bill, they would have come out looking credible, right? But their preamble before the sitting, in terms of the deliberation and the amendments, was contrary to what they did after the amendments. Because before the amendments, when everyone was giving their presentation, they stated that they all stated, except for Damon Crawford, which didn't state whether it was for or against. They all stated that they were in agreement with the bill and they supported the NaRRA. However, their votes demonstrated something totally different from what they said.
Yes.
Now, as Harris stated in his monologue, the Bible calls that lukewarm.
Yes, sir.
Right? Now, the reason I went back there because not only did they vote against something that they said they supported, but there was a clear indication that they came with a strategy to disrupt and to intimidate. Why did I use the term intimidate? Because when we listen to how the opposition leader spoke, he was quite aggressive and confrontational in his deliberations throughout the proceedings, with the exception of one time alone, when he realized that that wasn't working, and the Speaker of the House, she acknowledged him several times and made room, bent backwards and made room for him, and he realized that that wasn't working, and he was flying a flag by himself, and no one wasn't chasing after it.
Yes.
Then he kind of toned down a bit. But then it's almost as if when Damian Crawford went over and whispered to Angela Brownberg, because it's on the camera, when he went over there, he bent forward, he said something to her ears, and she got up and then he ran away, laughed, and then slapped the wall. It's almost as if he was saying it's time now. No, I doubt if that's what he said, but it's almost as it could easily be read as that. Um,
Yes.
their posture says that their strategy to disrupt the time had come. You know, as I stated before, I'd sent a voice note to a friend of mine stating that the PNP is going to look for a reason to walk out. And you know, we could clearly see that when they did that, they were probably hoping that the sitting would have been called off. You know, the session would have been, the committee would have been called off, the sitting, and then Parliament would have been postponed until to a later date. And when that didn't work, then they stood around Angela Brown Burke, and even she refused to leave after she was named and called out, and all of those things. Now, the leader had an opportunity to redeem himself. I'm talking the leader of the PNP, right? And having done nothing in the face of disruption, has only sought to expose him to the nation to say that this man is not a true leader, right? And he further diminishes his own stock. I heard you refer to him as, and not just you, but connecting the dots, refer to him as being an excellent legislator. I will say he is a good legislator. I wouldn't take it as far as excellent because a couple of times he mentioned some of the changes that he asked for. Someone who only studied journalism in the form of Robert Nestor Morgan, had to correct him that this was already a part of our laws. So what you're asking for is already embedded in our law. You know, now if you were being the minister, the former minister of justice, right, he should have known something like this. You know, and if I'm going to ask for something like that, because he's always on his phone, a quick Google search should have revealed whether or not it's there. But obviously, the phone is not being used for the right purposes. And that in and of itself, for me, further says that this man is not prepared for the job. I think Connecting said it right when he said he was elevated above his own capabilities. Right? Because he's been exposed over and over. Now, uh, Protecting said something, and I want us to take careful note of it. He said the society is being fixed. And I want to piggyback on it because what you have to understand when a child is errant and is being corrected, especially if it's a bad child, that child will seek to want to push back, right? The greater the correction, especially if it's a very rude child, it's the more they will try to rebel. And the PNP is that rude child in the society. That child who doesn't want to be corrected at all. You know, you and I have been in social work for quite some time, and we have seen that kind of behavior. We have seen that kind of behavior, right? But over a period of time, if you're firm enough and you maintain the same disciplinary measures and continue along the same pathway, they have no choice but to fall in line or to leave. You know, and so the PNP has exposed themselves badly in this situation. One of the things, even with the disruption that they attempted in Parliament and their position afterwards and coalescing around Angela and singing songs, you know, I think even their own supporters, though some of them will not come out publicly and say it, are now greatly disappointed because their own supporters realize that this party really doesn't care about Jamaica, but they care about what they want to achieve, and what is it that they want to achieve has nothing to do with the greater good or the advancement of the country.
Yes.
And I think I don't know if they can ever recover from this, right? And
Yeah.
and and it's and what they have done, they have only validated what we have always said in this space that the PNP doesn't care about Jamaica. They have only proven us right, right? The PNP is a selfish criminal organization that means Jamaica no good. And under Mark Golding, they have devolved further and further. Chuck Finley, as you quoted and supported by Protecting JA, did rightly mention that up to 2020, Jamaica was coming together as one. But upon the advent and the ascension of Mark Golding, the country has been divided, and it's a deliberate strategy to cause anarchy within the country on the part of Mark Golding and the current crop of PNP. And I think also, if you notice who he surrounds himself with, I was pondering on it earlier today. I'm talking about 10 o'clock this morning. That's
Yeah.
the first time in the history of Jamaica that you have that only novices, except for three persons who were there from the very beginning, Anthony Hilton, Philip Paulwell, and to a lesser degree, Angela Brownberg. Except for these three, basically everyone is new and not familiar with the protocols of Parliament and how it should be and what it requires to serve in that kind of setting. And
Yes.
there's no, and what it says is that this man wants to surround himself with a bunch of yes persons. No one to challenge him. No one who understand the protocols, the proceedings, and how the proper operations of parliament should be. Right? And people who feel somehow intimidated by him. And he doesn't want to train them because the moment that he trains them, he probably feels that, okay, now that they have an understanding, they won't need me anymore. And then that will pose a challenge to my leadership. Right? And it is very clear. The first thing he did when he became leader was to change their own constitution. Whereas every year the leader could be challenged in a democratic party, as they like to say they are. It has now been said that 2 years before an election, he cannot be challenged, which is really a solidifying of his position as opposed to looking out for what is best for the party, the best person going forward.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Fantastic. Harry, you still there?
Neighbor, just one more thing. You said something about the parliament is mirroring the society. I would want to just say one more thing on that.
Uh-huh.
It is actually the reverse, you know.
It's
The
just
followers the followers don't look the leaders don't mirror the followers. It's the followers that mirror the leaders.
uh-huh.
And this is a demonstration of what we are to expect in society because when
I,
those
I,
who
I,
are
I,
supposed to be
I
leading,
I think we may even need to explore whether or not they have any influence, Joshua.
they
Um,
do. And let me tell you why. Because when
well,
I was studying management, I did
uh-huh,
supervisor management. And one of the things that I learned in supervisor management is about the informal leader,
uh-huh.
right? So the informal leader is not necessarily always a positive leader. You know? It is someone who can be a disruptor and they lead the charge in doing so. That is why dons are so popular, right? And people automatically follow them. Now, when they set that tone for the rest of the society, you know what is going to happen? Police is going to have problems talking to people out on the road because they're going to say, oh, no, can't chat to me because the parliament have behave that way, oh, no, can't chat to me either.
That is true. That is quite
You
true.
know?
That is
So
quite.
I want to yield right there, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
Yes.
yielding. Harry.
Yes, neighbor.
Harry, let's head on to the tarmac and bring this plane down on the tarmac and see if we can land it on this beautiful Thursday. Where you want to land, in Montego Bay or Kingston?
Well, neighbor, I would like to land in Waterways.
Or St. Mary?
I said very neighbor.
Yeah, well, let's cruise down to the finish. Harry, let's begin where we started. You started by outlining NaRRA in a particular context and calling for a kind of a partnership between the people of Jamaica and the government. No, how do we now move beyond the debate, Harry? How do we now position NaRRA as a project between government and the people? Because the opposition is not a part of it. How do we now bring this partnership together towards the reconstruction?
Well, neighbor, it starts with information. Because
Yes.
you have to have the information for yourself.
Yes.
And this is where the onus comes on from the individual.
Yes.
This is about a new Jamaica. And a new Jamaica will be coming from the renewal of the mind, the explorative factors to how an individual can contribute to its nation building by starting with itself. And you need to have the information from an individualistic standpoint. The Prime Minister did a rather spectacular job when it comes on to laying out the roadmap that will be directed by NaRRA as a framework. Now it is putting those two together to see, one, where you as the individual fall on that journey when you look at the roadmap. And to know where you fall, you need to understand how NaRRA positions you.
Yes.
No, NaRRA doesn't explicitly say, this is what neighbor needs to do, this is what Caroline needs to protect it. No. NaRRA shows you how it's going to speed things up, how it's going to allow you to get access to resources, and resources don't mean just money. For those who are listening and thinking it's just about the 6.7 billion, but more so the information lets you know how you will be able to add value to yourself. The state is inputting NaRRA as a implementary framework, a cultural challenge in terms of mindset for the people. How we change this? Let's stop think about, you know, I need money to put on my roof and I need money to build a new house or the government can get. No.
Yes.
How do you position yourself to get a piece of the pie, not just for now, but going forward? How do you know don't need to rely on a government, not to rely on your member of parliament? It can't be after every disaster you hear, oh, I'm not seeing an MP, what me I get, what the government I do for me. NaRRA is allowing you to be empowered to create that opportunity, which is something the state has a mandate to do. And NaRRA will do it at a grand scale. But it is challenging you now as an individual to step up to the plate, not just for your party or your community, but for yourself. This is the philosophical part of it that I speak of. Move away from being a responder to a creator of design. And NaRRA is the overarching framework that you plug your own design to achieve a national goal. And that national goal is as we build together, as we improve each other, not in isolation or in silos as we've seen in the past when we look at other hurricanes that I spoke of, but together as a unified people to put Jamaica in designing its own environment and its own responses, its very own proactive actions to be taken so that they are never ever vulnerable, that they're never constantly responding and trying to build back to a state that is no longer self-sufficient, self-serving, nation building. And NaRRA is challenging, but you need all of that. You need it because the information is there and you have to find the part that applies to you. So we can form that collective and put Jamaica forward. Let's not be looking as to the state and all of that. But get the information first. So that's step one.
Yes.
And step two is where you're now able to, with this information, ask proper questions. Because this is where the people becomes one of the accounting framework for the government. It's no longer just the opposition. NaRRA doesn't focus on giving, the opposition to be the watchdog because they're showing that they're incompetent. And that's by no disrespect, but by actions, not in their words, but just by their very actions or lack thereof. We've seen from Melissa to know their inability to give us a draft. So we're still waiting on the draft, Mr. Crawford, from Melissa, 6 months after. They're unable to put to the people a similar framework to NaRRA, but they're very good at criticizing without providing an alternative. And as such, the people don't have to hold the government accountable, but you can't do so if you don't have the information.
Do you think that the opposition will have any further role to play here? What moral authority would they have to provide any oversight, any criticism when they don't agree with it? Do you think they have abjugated their responsibility by their actions in Parliament on Tuesday?
Well, they will, Nemo,
they will continue to criticize.
They will, right? Exactly, because Angela Brownburg in the last press conference on the People's National Party said, we're the opposition and we will talk. They didn't mention anything about actions. They will talk. That's their job, to talk.
They will talk.
And if anybody don't believe me, go back to their YouTube conference, and I think it's at minute 50, thereabout, when she spoke.
You even have the minute written down.
Neighbor, I had to re-listen to what she was saying because I couldn't believe. You remember Scratchy said they should take away them degree. I think Angela Brownburg is heading to that, you know. So she have to be careful because Scratchy is lurking around. But they will do that, neighbor, to be relevant, to say they have a voice, and then to also cry wolf, to say they aren't being heard. Because it's a tactics in a neighbor. You don't let them fool us. And the people, don't let them fool you. They're going to do that to see as if they're the aggressor, but then when you push back legally and rightfully, they're going to cry and say, they become the victim. And we saw that in Parliament.
Yes.
Right? With the whole Mace thing and all of that. But what they can't run from, and I'm hoping the people don't let them run from it. You see, all those member of Parliament for the People's National Party who won in the West.
Yes, sir.
People should be holding them everything and holding them accountable because they won't have money to spend and so on because of NaRRA. But how you hold them accountable is to say, what are you contributing in terms of getting the information to the individuals? John Brown up in one part, Brown one piece, he wants to be a part of it. How do you get it to him? Because the opposition has always been saying they don't see where they have any involvement in NaRRA. No, the people vote for you. You are a legislator, you're a member of Parliament. You have a duty to the people. And you play a part, because when it comes down to relocation of people, heavily, Black River side going straight up, right round to Lucy, back to Trelawney, there's a lot of relocation that will be required. There's a lot of activities and actions that are required from the Member of Parliament and the councillors. And if they sideline or sidestep it or do minimal work, the people should be calling them out. And that's why I led with the first thing, neighbor, being getting the information, because if the people know what they should be doing, then you can hold them accountable. Because they're going to try it. And they're going to cry to say that they don't get anything to help the people.
Okay, so you want to put in summary, use no more than 2 minutes to summarize with me what was your main thesis, your message in that piece that you did tonight.
All right. So my main piece for the message for Jamaicans, neighbor, is to step into the fray of a philosophical change, governance, as well as dealing with inevitable disasters. Because I would have outlined the 3 major ones leading to Melissa and how we act and how we responded. But only in Melissa, through NaRRA, we're seeing not just a reaction, but a transformation and a challenge to a new Jamaica. And if anybody wants to be a part of New Jamaica, you better get it right. And that is a challenge, because the monologue was really was to inspire, to challenge the framework of the people's mind, and to let them know the major difference as to the state that we're in and what will be required of them in the now and what will be required in the future. And you don't have to look too far down the road. That journey as to how we reacted to Gilbert, how we got some progress to Ivan, and how Melissa decimated all of those framework and to challenge you to not build back to normal, but to build forward. And that was my main framework from the monologue to the people of Jamaica tonight.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to give all of my my panelists 2 minutes to add their final wrap to it before we go to Jamaicans for Progress. And we're going to start with Connecting. Connecting, you've got 2 minutes. The dot. Yes, sir.
Maybe I don't need 2 minutes.
Well,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Right. We are at a very critical juncture of our development as a nation. It's either we seize the moment now, or we don't. To our own peril. If we don't seize the moment now, it's over and done for us. Guaranteed. Obviously, the opposition has not been able to grasp what is necessary to take us forward. Happily, the government led by Dr. Andrew Michael Willis,
Yes.
it understands what is required, understands the moment that we are in now, and is seizing the moment. I would use this opportunity to give Dr. Willis and his ministers, members of parliament, and in their leadership of the Labour Party some unsolicited advice. Continue to be Prime Minister, because in a time when the opposition is disintegrating, we need top tier leadership from the government, and we are getting that. So I'm encouraging them to continue and to even elevate the standard. But in doing so, to take the people along with you by communication, by marketing, what you're doing, bring the people along. Don't leave all the people out of, keep them informed. Have more contact with the people on the ground. People must understand what you are doing. Even the NaRRA bill, I think more could be done to edify more people even before it got to the parliament. Right? So I'm just here to say that, and the opposition on the other hand need to get their act together for the greater good of Jamaica. They need to get their act together. You can't have an opposition that continues to deteriorate and to disintegrate with each change of a leader. Every time they change the leader, they are looking worse. That's not good for our democracy and for Jamaica. Suppose the government decides to fall apart, what will happen to Jamaica? Fortunately, that's not the case. And so, as we anticipate the bill going through the upper house of parliament and to become a reality, I am looking forward to some of these mega projects. I don't know if you heard about this battery manufacturing company over in St. Catherine here that is already started.
Yes, sir.
Did you hear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. This NaRRA is designed to get those projects off the ground and to get them up and running, so that we can begin to sell these batteries, export batteries and all of that. One of the things that the government has been accused of is that we are not exporting enough, we are importing so much.
Yes, sir. You said you did not need 2 minutes and you are gone 3 minutes an hour, 48 seconds. How much more time you need? Me, sir? Well, catch you tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Fantastic. Protecting? Okay. His microphone is closed. Okay, let's jump up to Joshua. Joshua?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, you are by no minutes a 2 minute man, but you have 2 minutes to wrap.
Boy, perhaps if you'd asked my wife, she'd probably say something else.
Less than 2 minutes. This is late night, Rick. This is late night. It's a late night show, Joshua. Behave yourself. Behave yourself.
I didn't say anything, sir. You know?
Oh, yes. Well, gracious Peacock said that she's gonna have to call you later. Call him the gracious Peacock. Let him. Daphne's getting laugh. You know, joke better than quarrel. I tell you the truth. Wow. What a thing to be revealed by one of our favorites on YouTube. This moment is going to go viral. I hope you never had any. I hope you never had any of these nice ladies looking in your way, to Joshua.
No. They can look. What it means is that I'll attend to them quickly. You know.
No, you're
You know.
I don't want to make sure
hold on,
they're doing it right and that we're putting this up.
Attend to them quickly, Joshua.
Yes, and I heard what the thing that just came on a while ago, the sound that just came on, it says you're doing it right. I don't know what that I don't know who was that saying you're doing it right, but
That's Mrs.
you know,
That's Mrs. Brown Burke.
well, I don't know. I don't know. Somebody must have told her, but I don't want her to find her way to me. You know?
You'll attend to them quickly, Joshua. Oh gosh.
No waiting in the waiting room for just
Oh gosh.
This is very funny, you know. Right,
Oh gosh.
oh gosh. I tell you, Harry, this is the joke of the year, you know. Joshua says he'll attend to them quickly. Don't waste enough time. That's very good. That's exactly true. Listen, I need my rag.
Oh gosh.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh gosh.
Win is a win. Joshua, I respect your wit. Witty, sir. You are a witty man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So just in case media doesn't work out, I can probably ask Dave Chappelle for a job. Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, man. All right, back to serious business now.
All right. So much has been said, and if if we should go back, well, Harry wouldn't be able to, but you and a few of us would be able to go back. We have been here before, and in a number of ways. We have been here before where we had an obstructive opposition. We saw when Portmore was supposed to be built, the opposition ridiculed the government and asked if they were going to put the people in swampland and take their lives. We saw when the Sandy Gully was supposed to have been built in Kingston, the opposition called the then government, the Labour Party, Gully government,
Yes.
and they were in opposition to it. We saw when Ocherius was supposed to be built, there was great opposition to it until UDC was built to attend to it. We
Yes.
saw when Mandela Highway was supposed to be built into a 6-lane highway, the opposition then again opposed it and it had to be reduced. Marcus Garvey Drive, same thing. We saw even the flyover at 3 miles, the then opposition under Peter Phillips demonstrated against it, saying that it is a dust bowl and it's affecting the people. So this has been a long-standing tradition of the PNP, when they opposed everything that's good, NIS that is going to provide some form of retirement help to pensioners. And the list goes on and on. So we have been here before. As it relates to the hurricane and rebuilding, we have also been here because under Allen that was mentioned, And by the way, protecting you came late because I'd mentioned it to Harry before. During Hurricane Allen and Gilbert, Jamaica was devastated. And the rebuilding process and some of these processes that we're going through now, we went through them before. There are only two marked difference. One, we didn't have a designated authority to deal with it, right? The government took it on, and it could have done faster if we had a designated authority that was primarily focused on doing it, right? Of course, we didn't have so much red tape then. The red tape came in later in the 90s because of the huge corruption under the People's National Party. And so a lot of these red tapes that are there had to have been implemented, right? So one, the designated authority, and two, it is going to be more focused now. So whilst the rest of the country is being built out and commerce and everything else is being dealt with, this authority, their sole focus is to not only build better, but build forward. And having mentioned about building forward, there's something that I don't think we have ventilated enough. What does building forward mean?
Uh-huh.
Because if I'm going forward, it means I'm running ahead, right? Because in order for a baton to be passed to the runner, from the incoming runner to the one ahead, the other one had to have been ahead. So if we build forward, what we're doing is projecting for what is to come, that just in case it gets there, we're ahead of the curve. So
Yes.
it's really planning for the future to ensure that whatever comes, we are already prepared for it, right? Because it's better to be prepared and the thing doesn't happen than for it to happen and we're unprepared. And so this government focus is really in the right place, right? In addition to that, there are some, other things that we can look forward to. As I said it previously, it was a dedicated national recovery and rebuilding vehicle, and it's forecasting for the inevitable or future events or creation of smart cities
Mm-hmm.
or data-driven planning and building. That is what NaRRA basically, in a nutshell, is about. Yes, it's a mouthful, but there are some benefits that the government has set aside for the people. And at the time when we're having challenges, that this is what I was trying to mention. There's a 6-month mortgage moratorium for those who have been affected, that they can get from NHT up to $3.5 million at a fixed interest rate of 2%. The pensioners grant, there's a $500,000 property grant that pensioners can get for property repairs, right? And they can use it to help either their siblings, their offsprings, or close family members in general, right? Plus, there is a claim that can be made upon NHT, right? For an insurance claim, as it were, that can be made from any NHT branch for NHT contributors, whether past or present, right? And so people need to be aware of this. The government also sought help at the very beginning. So this is not a passive government. This is a proactive government that not only planned before the hurricane hit, not only planned after it hit, and in terms of cleanup and what do we do in the meantime, but also was very proactive from the get-go. Met with the multilateral, presented an internet a plan um, that was considered to be one of the best in the world. That the multilateral sanctioned, right? They decided it was good enough to take the risk of giving us $6.7 billion, even though we need 12 point something billion. And having come this far, I don't think that we should allow people who mean Jamaica no good in the form of the opposition to hijack the process. Those who are listening, whichever party you support, or if you don't support a party, we have to understand that the government has been responsible. Their track record has proven to be responsible. Protecting GA said something which we must take note of. But I'll take it one step further. In the 90s, every single project that the PNP started had cost overrun and cost delays. Under this government, we have had no project at all, not even one with a cost overrun, despite the lies that the PNP wants to tell. And Cornwall Regional Hospital is the one that they tend to want to use as a lie to present before the people, right? However, we have had no cost overrun on any project at all in Jamaica, right? Under this government, based on their track record, And the fact that the Auditor General will be there, plus other agencies of government, and for those who watched the sitting the other day, right, heard what was said in Parliament by the government, that the relevant agencies are there to help to ensure that the people's interest is protected. The same opposition that lent their voice to the process for the amendment, the same one voted against your future. Since they have voted against your future, you have to make sure that you keep them out because it demonstrates exactly how they will treat you if they're allowed to enter the halls of government. That your future means nothing to them and that they will always put themselves before your future. And I yield there.
Well, that's brilliant, sir. Thank you so much for that. I'll catch you on the other side of the show on another day. Well, Harry.
Thank you.
Yes, neighbor.
Well, Harry, it's been a long night for you. You've been here since 7 o'clock. Well, I want to thank you for holding things down for me early. We had a little bit of technical challenge, but so it is, Harry, when we are all of us are just trying to learn this thing here. Let's not be hard on ourselves. We did well, eh?
Definitely did, neighbor. You know, but it's one in which it's how you react to anything that comes your way, and we did very well, you know, and it's. I think it's fun to be in the hot seat, you know, neighbor.
How was it, by the way?
It was good, neighbor. It was good, you know, traversing the hills and valleys as I'll put them. You know, the YouTubers finally get to see me. Somebody in the comment section earlier said they can put a face to the voice. But we did tell them that, you know, a surprise is going to come. But we ourselves didn't know it would have been this soon. So as Connecting said, you know, he felt the spirit spoke to him. I think this one was ordained a little earlier.
Yeah. Well. So there'll be more opportunities, I'm sure. And we definitely will be better prepared. Want to thank technical director Shefreen on the scene, behind the scene, the amount of work she does to make sure that we look good on camera. Thank you so much. Look at Gatekeeper, you're joining late. Rockstone, what you doing? Rockstone Labor Right, big up to you tonight. So Harry, close out YouTube for me, please.
Sure, neighbor. Always willing to close out YouTubers. I believe management put me over YouTube.
Do you have any comments over there that we could take before we go?
Let me take a quick look.
Harry is going to be looking at the comments over there on YouTube to see whether or not there anything that we want to share. I want to thank you, my YouTubers, for hanging down with us. Thank you so much. You've been fantastic. And my TikTokers, wow. You know, you're the best. Great to have you over here. Really, really great. This is Caroline's crew. TikTok. Caroline's crew.
We have here, neighbor. From Wealth and Travel. It says the JLP has built a deep leadership bench. There's a clear pipeline of rising talent ready to take over when 1 PM steps aside. I think Floyd Green will be the next PM after Wholeness. Wealth and Travel, are you prophesying?
Well, there is much talk around that. I'm sure that there are other persons there with ambitions in Harry.
There are, neighbor. They are, of course, but you know, I believe the Jamaica Labour Party does well when it comes down to succession planning. So we look forward, and who knows, maybe we'll break the news to our neighbor, right? We'll see.
Yes.
We have here Mary C. Love that says key 2 trillion NaRRA bill. Mary C, you might have to tell us a little bit more on that, you know. We might have you host the show. And we have here Violet Facey 8986 saying you must be able to think for yourself. I think she's sending the message to each and every Jamaican as we anticipate more from NaRRA coming forward. And I say Genius Vessel here, neighbor, saying thumbs up the live, please. So they're over there doing work as well. But
Yes.
as we close out, YouTubers, it's always good to have you. Thanks for sticking with us through the technical difficulties. It's been a great show, and well received. Not just the information, but the neighbor rights and the Politics Plus network. So until tomorrow, we see you with another great production, all things considered. And it was a fantastic show, fantastic environment. And it's great to be here with you guys. So you all have a great day, great night. Finish the week very productive and rather well. But please like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and that friend to tell a friend. Love you, YouTube.
All right. I think the moderator may have an announcement because I think there are some programming shifts coming up for the weekend. I don't know if the moderator will want to share those information with the listeners. I think there is going to be a little change for the weekend. Okay, Shafreen, hold it there a little bit for me. Good evening to you again, Caroline.
Hi, good night, neighbor.
Yes,
Good
I
night,
understand that
everyone.
there is going to be a programming change coming up for the weekend.
Yes, neighbor.
Okay.
Okay, so we will have a regular show tomorrow at neighbor.
I think we're coming on at what, 11 o'clock or 8?
I think we are coming. Wasn't it 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock. Yes, 8 o'clock tomorrow.
8 o'clock Jamaican time. That's 8 a.m. in the morning Jamaican time until 11 a.m.
Yes.
And then we will be back at 7 p.m. Jamaican time. And we will be having a show on Saturday to replace our Sunday show. So we will not be having a show this Sunday.
Well, not Sunday evening.
Right, not Sunday evening. Of course, you will be on Sunday morning with your gospel show.
Yes.
At what time do you...
Well, 7 o'clock is Sunday morning, 7 to 9.
Right. So for the Sunday afternoon, we will be having a show this Sunday. So instead, we will be having a show on Saturday.
On Saturday at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock.
Okay. So at 3 p.m. this Saturday, we will have the show.
Fantastic.
And these changes are only for this weekend.
This weekend.
Until further notice.
See that? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, Shafreen.
Yes, neighbor.
Hi. How are you doing?
I am well, thank you.
Well.
Yes. So I wanted to do a quick shout out to some of our supporters. So Lorna Bennett and Andrea Morris, thank you for the super chats. I'm sorry we didn't get to shout you out in the previous live stream. We were having technical difficulties. So I want to thank you for your super chat. And I would like to welcome our new member. Mark Baines. Welcome to our membership. And
welcome, Mark.
So for exclusive content, join our membership. Your membership helps to support the channel, and you get to do things like members only comments, which we will do at some point in the future, as well as, depending on your membership, you can have access to our Discord, members only live and such. So check out our membership and join our membership.
Fantastic. Well, we appreciate much what you do, Shafreen, and it's been absolutely fantastic. Believe me, we love what you're doing. All right, so YouTubers, thank you so much. Yeah? Take care of Harry over there for me, and take care of Shafreen. Yes, and it's gonna get better. I promise you. It's gonna get better over on YouTube. And join us tomorrow morning. join us tomorrow morning. We're going to be here just about 8 o'clock, and we'll do it all over again at 7 p.m. tomorrow for the big show, the big evening prime time. YouTube, take care. Catch you tomorrow. Okay, bye bye.